Hey Pointer people, and welcome to another episode of What's the Point? I'm today's host, Claude Neve, and today I'm with the head members of the men's volleyball team. How are you two doing today?
Doing good.
I'm doing fine.
How about yourself?
I'm doing as good as I can be. Can you guys give me an introduction of your name and what position you are?
Yeah, so our position in the club?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my name is Ryan Hultman. They call me Big Tuna, and I am one of the co-presidents of the men's club.
My name is Caillou. I play the DS and libero of the team, so I'm pretty defensive on the volleyball team. I like to receive a lot of serves and take a lot of hits from Spike or some of the other teams. So
Yeah, Caillou is one of our other members. So.
Awesome. Why don't you guys give me a brief description of your organization?
Yeah, so what we are is, we're a competitive traveling club. As of this year, it's a little bit different, but what we're still able to do is we're able to, practice in the gyms, and we're able to scrimmage with people, whether it's members that come in to practice or even with our girls club too. So.
Can you give me a little bit of what's different from this year with COVID and all the precautions here versus maybe just last year?
Okay, yeah, so last year, we did a lot of traveling. When I say traveling, we're going to other schools. We meet up for they're called play dates. And basically what they are is, a bunch of schools come together, we play in a little tournament. We get rankings and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's just like, regular varsity sport, but just a turn down. Because we're a club. So, we would travel to a state tournament and play other teams in our state. We also travel to, it's a national tournament too, meaning that, teams from all over the country meet at a single city, say like St. Louis, and we all play in one big tournament. It's a lot of fun. This year it's a little bit different. We can't really travel, but we're still able to just get on the court and play volleyball, and that's really what's most important for us.
yeah, and I think our farthest trip was to Michigan Tech, and sadly last year we couldn't go to nationals at all because of COVID, and that's because our spring season starts in spring, and we couldn't really experience that, especially for new freshmen last year, because this year I'm a sophomore, last year I was a freshman, so I couldn't really experience the nationals vibe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and yeah, so we usually we have a preseason in the fall, and we have a regular season in the spring. So yeah, we just can't have that season this year.
That sounds difficult with the change in from the idea of maybe coming to the organization to be able to go and travel and then see what this experience is like from maybe going from high school or not at all having experience with volleyball. What drew you each to the organization to want to be a part of it?
Yeah, so I started playing volleyball in high school, and I just really loved the sport. I was pretty good at it, and I just wanted to keep playing because I thought I could play at a next level. So when I came here, I knew there was a club, and I went and I looked for it right away, and I've been part of it ever since.
And what about you?
So I started playing volleyball in high school too, and it just helped me build my character overall because as a freshman in high school I was pretty shy, but a lot of my friends on my team during high school got to help me get out of my comfort zone, and it helped me become a leader towards the end of my senior year. And I just loved to play volleyball so much because it just made me feel alive. So as soon as I hit my senior year, towards the end, I started to look into colleges, and I started to look into Stevens Point because I really wanted to focus on my major. At the same time, I wanted to play competitive volleyball, so I did a lot of research. I reached out to the club president at the time, and it was just a blast to play volleyball. And I still played, especially during off season too. I like to play in the bar leagues, so a lot of sand volleyball. So. Yeah,
same for me. I like to play in a lot of grass tournaments, a lot of grass triples. I originally actually came here because it was between Oshkosh and Point, and I knew Point had a team, and I liked this school a little bit better, and that's actually one reason why I came here. So. Yeah, volleyball is a big influence on my life. Yeah, and I'm glad I'm able to, share it with others like Caillou.
Yeah, and you get to meet a lot of amazing people. You can play with random people. They'll be like, "Oh, sure, come on, join our team," and you get to play against like really competitive people that you never knew, and you can make friends with them too. It's amazing, and you can learn from it too.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's just a lot of fun. Just volleyball in general is a lot of fun, especially when you get to learn the sport a little bit more, and you start to play it more with different levels. It's just all around. It's just a fun time. So
that's really great. With that, like you coming from maybe being like a little more shy and stepping out of your comfort zone to now you're on camera talking about your organization that you're a part of. That's a big step. That's really awesome. Could you guys give me a little bit of like what it's like in a day or like maybe a practice during being a part of the club as a co-president or a member?
Yeah, so as a co-president, you know, me and my other colleague, our other co-president, Nathan Plim, we have, you know, a lot of like paperwork and stuff, like, you know, a lot of behind the scenes kind of things to just keep our club running, you know, but along with that, you know, it's just like planning practices, you know, like in the past, you know, if we had games, we'd be practicing and kind of scheduling our practices and drills and all that towards that upcoming tournament. And then as a player with like Caillou here, you know, it's just like suggesting things that we could do and just participating and having fun.
Yep.
So
definitely. So yeah, like being a part member, of course, like for volleyball, everybody has to stay fit. So basically, fitness, you know, it has to be up to you to take care of yourself. Every member has to do that, especially for the upcoming season. And since we're just a club sport, you know, academics always come first, so we don't really expect as much, but we do want to have fun and play volleyball. So
yeah. So that's another good thing about our club is that, you know, we are promoting wellness and physical wellness and, you know, all the different spectrums of the wellness field. I mean, just because, you know, we're a really good group, we all have a lot of fun together. You know, we're a really competitive group too. You know, so it can get heated at times, but I mean, you get that with all teams, and that's just, you know, probably one of my favorite parts is just, you know, being able to share all these experiences with a lot of different guys from a lot of, and even the women too from the clubs from just all over the country too that come here and come to Stevens Point.
A lot of fun, friendly competition.
Yeah.
You can push yourself in a safe environment where you know that like you can still do those academics, where you can still, even like on and off the club, you're getting yourself into maybe a fitness routine that you might not have felt like you could have maintained outside of high school. I know for me personally, I went from doing dance all through high school, and then immediately I went to college, and I was like, oh, I really gotta push myself now that I'm not in something that's like constantly having me do some after school. So that's a big benefit of being a part of a community sport here at Stevens Point.
Yep.
Now I have one more question for you. What is your favorite part of being in this club? I know it's a big generalization you'll have to do with just choosing maybe one or two things.
Oh, my favorite part of this club, I guess, is team bonding. Meeting new people. We have I think a great amount of incoming freshmen that want to try out for the club volleyball team, and getting to know them and playing with them is just like you're sharing your passion with them, and they have the same passion too. It's like good to know your teammates well, and it helps in and out of game too. Just like team chemistry, because you really need that for the sport. So.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say two things. I mean, it kind of go along with what Caillou said. I mean, my favorite thing is the people that I met. You know, my freshman year, we had a really good team, really good, close team, and I still hang out with those guys, you know, in the summers and to this day. I mean, I'm playing in grass triple volleyball tournaments with them. You know, fishing. Just last weekend, I was down in Milwaukee fishing with my buddy who I met through volleyball years ago. So I think my other favorite part about it is, sharing that passion with other people and just be able to travel and like pretend and like, you know, not pretend, but like, you know, we're an actual team organization of this school, and, you know, we're not a varsity sport, so we don't get like kind of what they get, you know, with resources, but it's still pretty much the same, I think. So it's a lot of fun to see those other schools too.
I gotta say, volleyball has never sounded funner, more fun. Whatever. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have a fun game for both of you, so stay tuned, everyone.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
Welcome back to What's the Point? We have some silly news stories for you to read, and if you mess up the words or laugh at them, you may or may not be blasted with some water by me. So this week, with our first story, I will have our co-president go ahead and take the lead, and it's a little story about the Olympics. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead and read when you want.
All right. This week, Serena Williams, LeBron James, Lionel Messi, and Tom Brady were all taken off their respective teams to be replaced. In fact, they were all replaced by the same person, or should I say, same dog. A golden retriever named Buddy beat all of these athletes and many, many more in their own game, and thus gets to take their spot in the Olympics or on their team. Buddy is from O'Connell Falls, Wisconsin, and this just in. Turns out he is Stevie Pointer's long-lost cousin. You can catch Buddy and Stevie reuniting after all these years and Buddy's games by going to www.adogbeatyouinsports.com.
How does that make you feel? Pretty good.
That was pretty good. I had a hard time keeping up with the
teleprompter.
Okay. But yeah, that was a good one.
It's a bit different. So yeah, Buddy is going to be replacing a couple of people, and again, if you didn't catch that, audience, if you want to go ahead and see what's going on with there, go to www.adogbeatyouinsports.com. I don't know how real that site is, but you'll have to find out yourself. Golden retriever. I would let a dog beat me in sports, if I'm honest. I'd let it happen.
Airbud?
Airbud.
Yeah.
Airbud.
I remember watching those. The movies, Air Buddies.
Good. We love those. Are you ready, Caillou, for another Olympic story?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Read when you're ready.
The 2020 Olympics have been delayed until 2021, making the Olympic Games Committee rethink the Olympics. While waiting for the rescheduled Olympic date, they have decided to make a few changes. Each team will now be newly made up of athletes that are all skilled in one event. To ensure the well-rounded groups, to pick teams, they will be chosen by those whose birthday is closer to the event date, which is kind of weird. The new events are also being voted in by the public. Go to 2020shuffledolympics.com to make sure your vote counts for one of the following events: kickball, tetherball, Simon Says, and Red Rover. The Olympic Games Committee is said to be doing their best to make the world happy, even when the delays and reminders us again to vote for our favorite sport. Chit chat, one shot, story 3.
It's perfect. That was good.
The last sentence got me. I was like, what?
The chit chat is more of our stage direction, so that made me laugh.
Oh no, I think I lost.
How do you feel about that one too? Like that one, we've got tetherball, kickball. Simon Says Red Rover.
Says?
Yeah, which one do you think would be the best new Olympic sport?
Oh, Simon Says that. I mean, just to see like a bunch of audience watch, like an announcer say Simon Says to like a bunch of athletes, it's like, I don't know, you just don't really see that at the Olympics. It's just kind of funny because like Simon Says, go run around the track once, and then there's people like, wait, what?
And then they're all like, I think kickball would be a cool Olympic sport.
Kickball.
Oh yeah, just imagine like kicking that into the crowd, just like.
Yeah.
I love the idea with the shuffled teams where it's like, okay, you've got Michael Phelps, you've got Serena Williams, and then it's like, okay, so they're being picked like by whose birthday? It's like a children's game where you're at the elementary school and they're like, okay, whose birthday is it? And somebody raises their hand and then they're like, okay, well, I pick Michael. And it's like, okay, I pick Serena. And it's like, well, okay, both of the tennis players might be on one team if there's 2 of those to be chosen from, but then when it comes time for tennis and the other person's team has to play, you've got maybe Michael Phelps playing tennis instead of swimming, because that's just how it has to be. That is it. And that one also had a website in there too to remind us to vote, but that was like Shuffled Olympics. I'd see it. I'd see that. Or I know people have mentioned before, it's like, let's have one average Joe play. I want to see a dad run on the track alongside Usain Bolt to see like how good am I in relative time to somebody who's broken records so often that it's out of this world. But now the problem is somebody laughed while reading a story, and yeah, I'm looking at both of you off screen here.
I think it was me.
Yeah,
I think we both were
I
bad.
think well,
I think it was me.
I know that Caillou's story was a little bit longer, so you had a little bit of struggle with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I feel grammar checks too, so.
That's a good question.
I think I've made my option. If we let this camera flip to see the reaction. Dun, 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 dun. They're both looking at me. I can see on the screen. Dun, dun, dun. How long? I'll go, ooh. I don't think it, yeah, can it make it? You can just barely see it. You might be.
Maybe if you lift it up. Like, here you go.
Hey!
Little social
We just made it
distance water spray.
Yeah.
Social distancing water
Made
spray.
it rain all over the desk. I mean, it keeps it clean. But that is all we have for this part of our show. And next, we'll be coming back with the question of, what's the point with the men's volleyball team?
For the health and safety of students, faculty, and staff, SPTV would like to remind you about the new rules we have on campus to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
Face coverings are required indoors and in public spaces. This includes classrooms, laboratories, studios, and other instructional spaces. Please also wear your mask outdoors when physical distancing is difficult to maintain.
No matter where you are, please maintain social distancing. Remain 6 feet apart from each other whenever possible. Our public spaces are still open, but we ask that all visitors follow social distancing guidelines. Feel free to use a computer, just make sure you lightly sanitize it when you are done.
Thanks everyone, stay safe.
So we've had a lot of fun on here on this show today. I got to shoot someone with a squirt gun, which is not the first time that I've been able to do that on this show. But now I have to ask you guys, what is the point of men's volleyball club?
Definitely to have fun and enjoy the sport that we all love, volleyball. So.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just trying to get people together to kind of get away from school for a little bit. It's a great stress reliever. That's the point of men's volleyball. You know, and just to try something new, even if you haven't ever played volleyball before. You know, we love to get new people involved.
That sounds awesome. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. It was a ball to have you here. You're welcome for that nugget of a pun. Where can we find you on and offline?
Yeah, so offline you can find us, or online, excuse me, you can find us at the UWSP Men's Club Volleyball. That's on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find us at UWSP_Club VBall, and our Instagram is also partnered with our women's team too.
And how about offline? Are you guys still meeting up anywhere?
Yeah, so offline, so currently we're just kind of getting some guys together and we're just playing some grass volleyball. And you know, when it starts to get colder into the winter months here, we're gonna try and we're trying to get into the gym and run some practices. So we have been approved by Case to get in and practice with some safety precautions, but that's where you can find us, is in the gym playing some volleyball.
Sounds great. And even better that you guys are taking some safety into perspective here with how the world's kind of going right now. I'd say thanks so much for watching, for everybody out there. And if you want more SPTV content, make sure to check out our YouTube channel and our social media. This has been Claude and Neve with What's the Point?